Is everyone able to see my screen? Team, the slides? Able to see it, right? Please let me know. Thank you. Same way, YouTube guys, can you all able to hear me clearly? And also, I can able to see the slides, but just let me know the voice. Is that clear for everyone? Sorry, team. I think I was on mute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for messaging. Okay, let me start short recap. So what I was saying is, when we start learning, when we start coding it, always the object identification is very, very important. So we know we have 8 types of locators, that in that always give the first preference to ID or name locator. First, always go to ID. Then if ID is not available or duplicate ID values are there, then move on to the name locator. Then also these values are keep on changing. We don't have any other go, we have to go for XPath. So keep this point always in your mind while doing the automation. And then what is an approach we are going to follow from now is like how to handle the browser, like opening the browser, closing the browser, then how to validate this title, maximize some browser functionality like forward, back, refresh, directly entering some value. So these are all browser commands. In addition to that, like mouse event, that is how selecting values from this, and then in particularly in the registered demo page, how to handle the text box, then radio button, then checkbox, then button, drop down, then link we already seen it, handling the logo. In sense, if we understand how to handle every web element class like text box, radio button, and checkbox, whatever it is, with that and object identification tricks, if you understood properly, means the same concept you can go and apply in any web pages, any applications. So when you start doing practicals, especially while submitting for the assignment, always go in a sequential way. And if you submit like you completed the text box, means it means in any web page you should be in a position to go and automate it like that. One by one you do it. Don't do like a entire page in a single shot. Don't do that. Always focus one by one, maybe radio button, then checkbox. So that is an approach I'm going to teach. Same way you guys should follow that. Okay, first, browser commands. In the browser commands, we have get title, get current URL, get page source, close, and quit. This close and quit, we'll see it later. These are all some most used method. These all methods I have converted to a manual test case. This flow will cover, or it will make you to use these methods. So it's almost similar to a real-time project. In real-time project, we will be getting the functional test case. We have to go in a sequential way. That's how we will automate it. So in that, like, what is the step? What is the description? Expected results. In manual testing, we will have actual results, status. So many columns will be there. Just to make it easier, this is the expected and what you are going to do. So both must be same. Then whenever you start automation, make sure you do it manually once. Then only it will be easy for you. So first one, we are going to use the Chrome browser and directly navigating to this URL. I'm not navigating from the home page. Directly I'm mentioning this URL, and then URL should be launched. After this, verifying the title of the page, this one. That is a demo site. 1 second. So demo site registration for NextGen AA Academy. This is a title. So let's try to code first 3 steps, including prerequisite. 3 steps. Click on Python for data science. After validating it, you have to click on Python for data science. So these 3 steps, let's try to do it. And this red, I made it like this because this particular step I will come back after teaching some complex examples. So, okay, close Selenium basics. First, let's try to create a class name handling browser, public static void main finish. So we already know if we want to use any particular browser, first we have to do the set the system property. After setting the system property, we have to create the object instance for that particular browser. This is what we used to do. So WebDriver Chrome.driver. By chance, if any mistake, this is case sensitive. If you view capital C or capital W or change the sequence, this will not work. The program will not work. It should be exactly like this in lower cases and path of the driver file. While submitting the assignment also, I don't want you guys to practice with hard-coded value like C drive. Don't do that. create a folder drivers and just move here and put dot. This is the good way to do it. And then we have to create the object instance using the WebDriver interface. So we have seen this already many times. So I'm copy pasting this. But as I already said, when you do it, at least for first 10 programs, don't copy paste, we just code it. So we are launching the Chrome browser and navigating to this particular URL. This first step. Now the next step is verify the title of the page. So this means how can I verify this? Let's inspect it. Right click, inspect. When you inspect here, just scroll up and you can see the entire web page is developed using head and body. So this is a common pattern everyone will follow while doing the development. One is head, another one is body. The second I select body, you can able to see that entire area is highlighting. So all the code, whatever we do it here, it will be here only. The inspect, everything will be inside the body. But in some cases, we have to validate or we have to handle this top area also. So this is like, it's not a web-based application. This is a window-based app functionalities, but it will be in the head. In the head, if you want to glance at, you can see here. So this is the title. Under the title, whatever here it is mentioned, that is what will display here. Now I'm just removing this and show you. See, it is changed. It since whatever, if you want to validate a title means we have to refer the title tag. Same way, you can see all other properties of the title, everything it will be here. Now for now, our thing is we have to validate the title, and in the requirement it is clearly said that when you validate it, it should be this particular value. This is the requirement. Always remember, when you can tell a particular step is passed is when the actual and the expected results are same. So this is expected result. We know it from the requirement document. What is the actual result? That is during runtime, what is the value? Then we have to compare it. If both are same, well and good, it means it is passed. So how to do it? Let's try to do that. Validating the title. So to retrieve this title during runtime, this particular value which is mentioned here, what we can do is, we already know the object name is driver dot type get. You will have all the methods. It is already developed, so you have to reuse it. We already know get means launch the URL, and you can see get current URL, get page source, get title. So this method, if you call, what exactly it will do is during runtime, it will try to retrieve this particular value. Now I saved it in my, I just updated in my local, but remember it is not updated in the server. So just for demo, I just updated it. Nothing will happen in the main, that is the production code or the main active code. Those who are new to it, I'm just saying. So this will try to retrieve this particular value. Okay, but we have to compare it with the expected title. So this is nothing but actual title. During runtime, if I run, maybe I'll run and show you now itself. So this line, what it will do, let's see. The application. Just observe the execution. execution is completed. And see, demo site registration form, next gen EA Academy. Controlled, Chrome is being controlled by test automation. See demo site registration form, next gen EA Academy. So that particular value, if we want to retrieve it, what is the method? It is driver.getTitle. It is working perfectly. But I want to compare it with the actual and the expected. So that's how we will do it. How to do it? We already know whatever the value we retrieve from a web page, it will be of string data type. So I'm storing it to a variable. If it's a variable, we have to tell the data type. It is a string data type. Actual title, I'm creating a variable driver.getTitle. So this is the one. In sense, during runtime, it will retrieve this particular value and save it to this variable. Then string expected title. What is the expected title? This we will be getting it from the requirement document, this one. So there may be a typo error, no typo error. Let's see. Okay, this one. Sometimes while copying this double quote and all, you have to be very careful. So while doing a development, directly try to get the value from the application itself, so that you will not do any mistake. What I mean was, after you inspect, you have title. Okay, yeah. Okay, when I refreshed now, the title has changed. So this, you directly take it and cross check it whether both are same and give this value. So during runtime, it will be same. But for easy validation, I'm saying this is nothing but from the requirement document. But make sure when you copy from an Excel sheet, mostly the requirement, every test case will be in the Excel sheet. You have to be a bit careful with that space, that any special character, because even one single change in the actual and expected results will throw the failure condition. Now, let's try to validate this actual and expected title using if else. So if actual title dot equals expected titles, we am checking using the equals method, string method. We have already seen it. It will try to compare each character by character. If both the values are equal, then I will display like I can say both the actual and expected titles are same. Then it is always a good practice to display that value. So the title of the pages, just tell me you will pass actual type variable here or expected title variable. Zoom team, just reply me in text or you can say it in voice. Which variable will you mention here? Which makes sense? Yes,
Actual title.
actual. Because there are some clever guys, they want to make sure that the answer is always correct. They will pass the expected title. I have seen that type of code also, but remember, pass the runtime value, then only in case of failure, it will be easy for us to find why it got failed. I'll show that. By chance, if both are not equal or not titles are not same, then it will come to the else condition. But here, uh, even I have seen the people are very lazy to type these lines, but this else statement, it is the most important and helpful for developers. We can, because when we fail something, rather than opening the code and trying to understand, try to display maximum information in the else. So what I can display is the actual title. Actual title is expected title. So now in case of failure, we will know why it got failed. Anyhow, I will show both positive and negative scenario. First, let's execute as Java application. Yes, execution is completed. See, what exactly happened is it came to this particular thing and it retrieved the value. Since the both these values are same, that's why it entered if statement. Both the actual and expected titles are same and the title of the pages. This is very important. When you display some dynamic value or the value you are checking, this will give a very good idea to, because this is what we will see it in the report. This is what a functional team will review and give the sign off. So make sure your grammar is also good. I have seen some guys are typing like this, so that you should not do it. Be very professional while typing, because we have to get sign off from the functional testing team. They say some grammar mistake, don't redo it, means you have to do a lot of setup works. That's again a painful job. First time itself when you do it, a proper grammar and see all the indentation, other stuff. In case if it is failure, we will go into the else condition. Since I can't change the actual title, so what I will do is I just remove this, so that while trying to compare it, this will be different for sure. I'm purposefully making it failure. When if it failures, what will happen? It will come to the else condition. Let's see. And also the log is very important. So execution is completed. See now this is how we will get it in the report. Both the actual and expected titles are not same. Okay, with that, if we stopped it, just imagine you're not giving these two line. Just imagine, because I have seen such type of developers. This is equivalent to doing manual testing again. So you understood something got failed. What you will do, you will open the application and will check why it is failed. You will cross check it. So it is again a waste of time, right? Better you display those values. Now, by seeing this log, I can understand, okay, the actual title is demo side something, but the expected title as per the requirement, it should be registration form only. This is what we are expecting. It means it's a defect. And in the framework level, whenever a script get fails, automatically screenshot will be taken. You will use that screenshot, this log, and raise a defect so that the development team will start fixing into it. So these else statements are very, very important in terms of development, especially for us. So this is how we will validate it. And remember, this particular sequence, this particular way only, we are going to follow for almost most of the web elements. For validation, text validation, we will use if else. Always will compare with the actual and expected. If both are same, that's a positive scenario. If it is failure, it's a negative scenario. And why it got failed, we have to mention it. So let me, okay, revert back. Now it will pass. So till now, this particular from 24 or from 26 to 38, this coding concept is everyone understood the something. And of course, YouTube. because same thing I'm going to repeat it again and again. It's a very simple only. Some of them joined this class quite later. They missed some Java class. So what I will tell, go and look into the string methods. In that, I gave a very depth explanation about equals method. It will compare text character by character. Even if there is one semicolon or full stop here, this will throw the for failure condition. So that much accurate level, the machine can able to validate it. Okay. Now, as per the requirement, we are done with step 2. Next step is Python for data science link. We have to click on it. Click on Python for data science link. So this example also we have seen it using partial link text. We can able to click on it. So directly I'm typing driver dot find element by dot partial link text data science dot click. That's it. This will click on the data science page. So every time we are launching, it is creating a new instance. So after it clicked, now it will be in this page. Now what is the step for us? We have to verify the current URL, this URL, whether we are getting the actual as per the expected. Why is that much important means? Yes, this particular URL is very, very, very important. Why? Because sometimes the URL itself will contain some sensitive password output. Sometimes if Java developers are not following the correct architect, it will show whatever the values we are sending it, sensitive information. So URL is that much important, and it is with HTTPS secured one or not. For example, here itself, when I click on Python installation, just showing on small, see, it is navigating to which one? It is showing the exact page, no doubt on it, but it is navigating to some other URL with some other domain name, another domain. In sense, this is something a defect. So we have to, so that's import that much important. The URL, that's what I want to convey. Let's try to validate this URL. How to do that? Very easy. We have a method called get current URL. That's it. Now validating the current URL. Okay. Again, what is the method? Driver dot type get. You have get current URL. This will retrieve the particular URL. This one. Again, I have to validate it. So what we should do? We have to save it to a string data type, and we will give a variable name like actual current URL equal to this one, and expected exp current URL, that particular one. I give from here, or both are, I know it's not a defect one, it's perfect one. It is same, so directly copy it from there. Again, same story like above. If actual current URL dot equals expected current URL, then what we have to tell? Both the actual and expected current URL are same. With that, don't stop it. Try to tell what is the value. The current URL is always, whenever some values help us for validation, means try to display that, entering the value, final transaction number. These are all like validation criteria. You can say or not same. You can reuse the same code. The actual current URL is this one. Then expected current URL this one. That's it. Let's try to execute these steps together till this. So it clicked, it just completed all these steps. Let's see the results. Both the actual and expected titles are same, and what is the title? And both the actual and expected current URL also same, and the URL is this one with S. S means secure. So these are all the things we will check it, whether we are testing it in a secured application or not. So those stuff also we can do it up. So this is also done. Now, as per the requirement, we are in this particular page. Okay, let it be. Move back to the requirement. We have to verify the page source length. In real time scenario, let me be frank, we will never verify page source and all, and we will never use page source and all, but still some methods I can include it. With this, I can teach you some other concept. In real time, to my knowledge, I never work with page sources. So we are done with get title, get current URL. It is widely used method. Close and quit also. This one is, to my knowledge, I never used. What this will do, get page source means any web page, if you take right click, go to view page source. When you click on it, this will give exactly the what is the website they have created those code. So if you want, you can display that. I'll show it again. Driver dot get page source. Let me execute and show you. So it's launching, clicking, so it's done. See here. Can able to see, no? This is page source. Almost our reports are messed up. So after this, from HTML entire code, we can able to see it. So instead of printing it, I will introduce a new concept. What is that requirement is? We have to verify the length. That is, what is the total number of characters in that page source? How to do it? 1 minute team. Okay, there is no question. Fine. Okay. We know this will try to get all these values. Let me save it to a variable. String page source equal to driver dot get page source. Okay. Now all these values will be in this particular variable. Now I'm going to ask a question. What is the requirement it is asking? Page source length. Page source length. Can you all ping me? What is the method, string method used to find the total number of character? Again, an online quiz question. What method? If you have done the assignment, those guys can reply. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm getting a lot of answers. It's a length. Some will think len method. It's not len, it's a length method. So what I can do is this page shows dot length. And if you see, whenever I type a method, it itself saying the what is the data type. That is what value it will return. It will return the integer. It means it is going to be the total number of character number. To display that, don't put directly like this into a sysout, always declare it to a variable. So int page source length. So like this. Now this, it will find the total number and you can see it here. Now I can print and show you. Let's see how many characters. So total length of the page. So, after that, we have to close it. Actually, close and quit is there. As of now, let's go with quit, or even close is also fine. Close the application because in Edge browser, close is not working. Totally, we will be using Edge, Chrome, Firefox. So some guys are facing issue in doing setup of Chrome or sometimes Firefox. So they use the Edge. In that right now in the Edge, the close is not working. But if you're working with Chrome browser, it will work. So driver dot close. This will close the application. Let's run it. Yes, I can see the answers in YouTube also. Length method. Very good team. Now you can able to see around like 77,653 characters are available. So in real time, we are not going to check it, but what is the total length of credit card? Well, it should be, of course, must be 16 digit. At that time, this length method and all will be very useful. I just showed how to do it. So you have to get that particular value. To that, just put length. It will tell exactly total number of characters. And remember, it will count space also. We have seen that in the string method. And after that, the application is closed. You can see there is, this is a previous one. It closed the application. Anyhow, I will execute again. There is no browser here. Okay, it closing, there is no browser. It means the application is closed. So we are done with the first end-to-end test case. Launched, so method wise, get done, get title, get current URL, page source, and close. Close and quit. So this is again a very famous interview question, and especially in the online exam and all, so many complicated questions you can design it just with the help of these two methods. So this we will learn after knowing about multiple browser. Then I will come here and teach you, and I will ask one interview question at that time. Let's see how many of them will answer it. So first program we are done. That is how to handle the browser commands. Now second program. Before that, is everyone in Zoom team and YouTube team, everyone good? Till now, shall we move on to the next topic? Yeah, tell me what's it out. Please, you can message or you can unmute and ask, up to you. Anything is fine. Okay, fine. We will discuss after class. You just note it down. Definitely we'll discuss after class. Others other than Abhi, others are fine, right? Okay. Okay, perfect. I'm just waiting for the reply from you. Clear. Perfect. One clear. That makes me happy. Now the next requirement. This is the most simplest program in the entire Selenium automation. What is that is? But again, very important area. Navigation commands. What do you mean by navigation commands? Let me ask you an interview question after explaining this scenario. Just now I said this is a Chrome browser. In this area, this area, this area, it is a web-based application. Okay, remember this one point. And this area, that is back, forward, refresh, this URL, everything. These are all window-based application. Now just tell me, can we use Selenium to automate window-based application? This is window. As per the theory, yes, no. Can we able to automate window-based functionality? No. One no. What about others? Any yes? So remember, Selenium is only for web-based application. You can't automate window-based application or window-based functionality. If we are using UFT or some other tool, with that we can also add these things. But Selenium, we can't do it. So this is something one drawback. That's why Selenium itself is providing some ready-made methods, 4 methods, that is called navigation method. With that, if you use, you can able to control all these 4. Even though it's a window-based functionality, Selenium is providing some ready-made method. With that, you can able to just use all these 4 features. Okay. What are all those 4 things? Navigate.to. This is nothing but loads a new web page in the current browser window. See, current browser window. So you have some URL. In that itself, if you mention some other URL, it will load that. Navigate.forward. It will take you to the front, navigate.back, and navigate.refresh. So let's see all 4 in a end-to-end test case. To my knowledge, navigate.refresh is we will use it in multiple places in automation. Other things, mostly we will not use it. Forward, back, and all. Very usually while filling some data, we are very clear about page 1, page 2, page 3. So we will go in a sequential way. While doing manual testing, we do these stuff, but when we go for an automation, we will go in a sequential way. We never use these functionality. And test case, should we be written by ourselves? Definitely, yes. That is the trend right now. If you're working in a big companies with waterfall model, V model means already there will be like 50 to 100 members manual testing team, one automation team. They will be providing you the manual testing. Right? This is the thing. If you're working under the Scrum team, that is agile methodology, like 7 members, so you will be doing manual testing. In sense, you have to write the manual test case, followed by the you have to automate your own test case. But again, third type of project, this is how most on-site projects will work. They will be having like multiple, one automation resource will be working with multiple Scrum team, 3 team, 2 team. So the person's duty is only to automate those user stories. So he or she will be involving only in automation. So Scrum team will have a separate manual tester, but this automation resource will be like shared resource for multiple Scrum team. So all the time the person needs to automate it. So this is how it will vary from project to project. But personally, I felt like you must have a very good depth knowledge about the manual testing, because maybe now itself everyone started moving to DevOps. If you talk about a DevOps, manual testers can't adapt to DevOps just like that. It's very, very tough, full of automation. But automation testers, we can go and work because we can do the manual testing. But that is also a little bit tougher. That's why in the roadmap too, I have included the manual testing, because so many methodologies there, so many testing techniques there. Our duty is to find the defect. So with that, you have to write the manual test case, and the same test case, if you convert to automation, means that is the best automation test case a project can have it. So I think I answered your question. Now let's try to understand what is this flow. It's a Chrome browser. Okay. Now we have to launch this particular URL. After launching this, what you have to do, you have to click on Python for data science link, this one. Now the next step, click on back button. Do you know what will, have you guys used these functionality? If you click on back means click to go back, hold to see history. See, it will take you to the previous link in your, maybe control H, exactly the previous link it will take it. So when I click on this, it will take you to again to registration page. Now forward, then click on forward. If you click on forward, that will take you to the again to this Python page. Then from here, we are navigating directly to the home page, not clicking on this link, entering this, navigating it. After navigating, we will refresh it. When we refresh, you can see this particular button will load. It will be very little bit slow. Then close the application. 4 steps, 4 methods, 7 steps. Let's try to do it. Very easy only. This is what this one. Okay. Right click, new class. We will give name like maybe browser, handling browser navigation commands. Handling browser navigation. From here till here. Okay, let's go back to that. 1 minute. We are launching that particular URL. After that, click on data science link. Click on Python for data science link. Driver dot find element by dot partial link text data science dot click. So as per that, what will happen when you click on the, we will be navigating directly to this. After this, you are clicking on data science. Now, when you click on back button, it should navigate to the previous screen. So click on back button. It's very, very easy thing. Driver dot, it's a navigation command. Type navi, so you will get navigate. Then dot. it will show all the methods back, forward, to, and refresh. That is refresh in the top, refresh here. So we have all the four methods. First we'll go for back. Let's execute this program. Definitely this will be very fast. So I'm going to introduce one more concept, not concept, this feature only for demo purpose, only for demo purpose. In your automation code, never use this, that is waiting or passing your execution for some time. It's a Java command, thread dot sleep, it is in millisecond. So 3000 means 3 milli, 3 second, 3000 millisecond or 3 second. When you type, you will get add throws declaration surround with try catch, add throws declaration, interrupted exception. When you submit for assignment, you no need to type this now, just to showcase, just to show the demo purpose only I am doing it. I don't want to see this particular line in any of your assignment. Now itself I'm saying this is strictly against the automation coding standards. We should never use this. Let me execute. Have you seen the execution? I'll do it again. I just see the, I was seeing parallelly the chat. I missed it. So launching the browser URL, click on Python for data science, and then click on back. When you clicked on back, it back to register for demo. So it waited for 3 seconds. Then after it, we have to click on forward. If we click forward, it will be back again to Python for data science. Let's try to do that. Click on forward button. So driver dot navigate dot forward. That's it. 3 more seconds I'm waiting. Then from here, we have to navigate directly to the home page. So we can tell like navigate to home page without clicking on it. It is possible. Driver dot navigate dot, you can see 2. 2 means that particular URL needs to be in the string. So then the double quotes. Now in the existing here itself, directly it will mention that and will go. This is also very useful feature. Sometimes while doing automation, we have to refer multiple pages. Like you just imagine 10 pages you have. You are the page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, you are going on it. In page 7, you're doing something. Now that will be creating some values or trend output status or transaction number in some other page. Means directly we can mention navigate to that, you retrieve that value and come back to the previous page and enter that value. This is the one example I can tell, which we will be using it in the real-time scenario. Rather than using back and forward, try to go with navigate.to whenever you want to switch between different pages. These two are not advised to use it. Again, after navigating to home page, that is directly going here, we have to refresh. The refresh can be seen here. See this something will change. Click on refresh, where we will use refresh. I'll tell driver dot navigate dot refresh. Then close the application. driver dot close. Let's complete this execution and then I will tell exactly where refresh will be used. Semicolon. Application launched, navigated to the URL, maximized, clicked on Python for data science links after 3 seconds, back button after 3 seconds, forward button after 3 seconds, navigating to home page. After 3 seconds, refresh. See here, refresh. After 3 seconds, close it. That's it. So this is the flow which I want to teach you. Very easy only. You have to remember this one keyword. And the practical use of refresh is while working with multiple applications, sometimes you will be in a particular web page. It takes like 2 to 3 minutes time to change from status by created to accepted or created to pending to in progress to accepted. Like that, some status will change in that particular web page. We don't know when that will change. Manual testers, what they will do, they will keep on pressing the refresh button. Once they find it, then they will move on it. So that is a place, instead of keep on pressing it, you have to use a refresh with the help of while loop. If you do it, once you find that status, you will come out of that loop and move on to the next page. So this is very simple line, very widely helpful for some complicated scenarios. Just one line. Still you're not getting it, no worries. I have an interview question at that time. I'll show you exactly where we will be using this refresh. So is everyone, Zoom team, till now, is everyone clear about this navigation? Then same way, I should ask for YouTube team. Let's wait for the reply. Then we will move on to the next thing. Navigation done. A question, sir, please cover complex scenario automating of each topic as well as complex scenarios. The ultimate aim of this training is not to break the confidence level, because as a newbie, most of them, to my knowledge, are non-technical users. So if I show complex scenario, you'll hate the automation. And what I will do, once all the basic things with simple example, let's try to learn it. And when advanced topic comes, I will teach you a complex scenario. Then you will understand how tough an automation is. So as of now, next 2 to 3 class, always the fundamentals will be with easier example only. Then only you can able to practice without my guidance. Complex scenario, definitely we have a lot of assignments, assessments, some web table, dynamic web table. At that time, I will showcase complex scenario. I hope I answered to Ahmed. Okay, all clear. Let's move on to the next requirement. What is the next one is handling the text box. Okay, 1 hour over. So for this, we are directly using the link demo site. So if you're into the home page, QA automation, practice automation, demo site, registration form. So these are all the websites. We will be automating it. Remember, all the flows we will automate it. Same flows we will use it in the TestNG. We will use it in the page object model. So if even in Python, in sense, if you complete once a proper coding, after that it's just copy paste. So registration form, this is the one we are going to handle the text box. We have already seen it. So what's new here? We have seen till now is just send keys, that is to enter the value. In addition to that, we have is displayed, is enabled, clear. Okay, what is that? Let's see it. 1 minute. I don't know why it's coming like this. Fine. Handling text box, some will call this as an edit box. So whatever it is. Now, send keys to enter the value. And clear means there is some value you want to clear it. So two methods are self-explanatory directly. Then what is the difference between is displayed and is enabled? Very minute difference. I'm just in real time scenario, very rarely only we will get these type of features. I'm just talking about manual testing, manual functionality. Tell me one thing. You can unmute and tell, or you can message me also. Anything is fine. Is it possible to enter the value here in this default condition? Is it possible? Yes, no, I can't hear voice.
No.
No. Why? Because it is disabled. Am I right? This is disabled. So if you click on this, if you select on this only, this will be activated, then you can enter the value. But now you understood the functionality of enabled and disabled. Same way, what is the difference is displayed means? Is displayed, you are checking whether is it displayed or not means yes, it is available in the web page. Okay, go and enter the value. Is displayed with send keys. Your script will fail because it is displayed but it is not enabled. So there comes is enabled. So some places, some of the functionalities will not be enabled. So based on your requirement, you have to use either with is displayed or is enabled. For the assignments, we will be using all these methods. In real-time scenario, it's purely depends upon the application. I will tell exactly a few more examples also very soon. But is displayed means it is in the application. Is enabled means it is in the application, and also I can able to check the status of that activated or not. Yes, it is enabled, so I can do it. And another, whenever any method start with is, the output will be boolean, true or false. Remember this also. Is enabled, is selected, is displayed. Yes means true, no. Is this displayed? No, it's not available, then it will go to the false. Keep this point also. Now let's discard this. Okay, what is the test case here we are going to see? These four methods, I'm going to implement that in the first name, nothing but this one. Here only all the four methods I'm going to implement. What are all? Launch the URL. Verify the first name is displayed or not. Whether it is displayed or not. Yes, it is displayed. Then verify the first name is enabled or not. Yes, enabled. So in real, as of now, I don't have any web page with enabled, disabled stuff. But remember, in real time scenario, if it is disabled, it will throw false. But in this example, it is enabled. And after that, we have to enter the value and then clear it, close the application. So I'll be entering something like this. After fuse again, I will clear it and close the application. So it's a straightforward. All the four methods we are using in the same object. Why? There is another reason I'll tell you. So this is done. Now The next test case, handling text box. 1 minute. Okay, no queries. Same way, every web element type you will see, this is handling text box. Public static void main finish. Okay. Okay. Let's back to the application. So all the functionalities we are going to perform on the first name. Okay. First name, inspect. Right click, inspect. Think Sandhya asked this question. How to copy this particular value? It's copying fully. What you have to do, exactly go and double click about that. See, and double click about this. Then only you can able to copy, or else it will copy the entire thing. Just try it in your browser. Just double click it. So we can able to copy the exact one wherever. Mostly we will copy the value only. Double click exactly about that. It will open. So as per the basic, we have to go for ID. Okay, let's try to code it. So one thing we understood, we are going to use the first name again and again. So in order to identify the first name, so this is like first name, what we will do, driver dot find element by dot ID within the double quotes that particular value. What this will do, this will identify exactly this first name. Then action performing is like entering the value, clearing the value. That's a secondary thing. But this will identify exactly that particular web element. And we understood one thing. This particular code, I'm going to use it multiple times. So every time I can't go and put like this. That's not a good program. That's not a good way to program. Program readability is not that, it will not be good. In that way also we can say it. So what I can do here, if you see, if you want to declare a string, you will use string data type. If you want to declare a number, integer data type. Same way, if you want to, like instead of saying declare, I can say hi-fi word, initialization. If you want to initialize or if you want to declare this web element, what is the data type we'll use it as? Should not say it's a data type, just comparing with it. I can say web element first name equal to semicolon, and you will have an error. See, it's actually they created a class. I should not say a data type, just for easy understanding I compared it. If you want to initialize, if you want to declare a web element, means use web element class, this keyword web element variable name equal to that exact, what is that particular object, path means identification code, and follow the naming convention, first name lower camel casing. With this object, if you put dot, it will show all the methods like clear, click, equals, send keys, everything you can is selected, is enabled like this. So instead of coding like this everywhere, what we can do, we can use that particular object name and do it. Once again, yes, I will explain you one more time. Okay, I have to interact with you, then only I can understand your mind. So you understood like how to declare a string value, right? Within the double quote. If you want to declare, you will put string data type. Am I right, Praveen? Same way it is for integer, means you will put int. Same way, I want to use this particular, I'm going to use this in like 10 places, means is it a good way to use it like this? the program readability will be very worst, right? So what I'm doing, I'm declaring it to a variable. So this means that it will refer to this particular object. So how to declare it means with the help of web element class. So web element and the object name, then you have to give it like this. Maybe we will be using for all program like this, we'll get more clarity. Let me complete this program, then you will understand why we are using it. We are in middle. First one, we have to verify the first name is displayed or not. How can we do it? If first name dot is displayed, it is checking whether in the web page this first name is available or not. Yes, it is available. Then I can tell first name is displayed. In case if it is not available, I will tell first name is not displayed. Now tell me one thing. Which one looks better? One or two? This one or this one? First one or second one? Readability. You got it right? Why we are doing like this? Yes. And that's the first reason, readability. We have three reasons. First reason, you all understood. I can use it same way. It will check is displayed. Yes, if it is displayed, it will do it. Same way, I will code for both the scenario and then execute. First name is enabled or not. We know it before execution, it will be enabled only. Object name dot is enabled. Then I will say first name is enabled. In case if it is not enabled, first name is not enabled. Okay, let's execute. We have to get enabled and displayed. So it's completed. First name is displayed, first name is enabled. So instead of mentioning like this, it won't look very good, right? So we are declaring it. We can use in any place. So we follow this coding practice. So as per the requirement, we are done with step 3. Step 4, to enter the value. To enter the value, what we will do it, object name dot send keys, maybe Vinoth. So this will enter the value. But again, I'm saying when you code it in your project or in your assignment, never code like this. Always use if or else. You can use is enabled or is displayed or is enabled, anything as you wish. And then you can mention inside that. In sense, whenever you want to perform any operation, that is enter something or selecting something, first check whether it is available or not. That is a good way using the if else. If it is available, in sense if it is displayed or if it is enabled, then go and perform the action. Again, a good programming practice. This will enter the value. And again, if you want to display that, now comes the problem. You can't say that first name is, you can't say Vinod. It's a hard-coded value. There comes the importance of variable declaration, where we declare here. Let me declare first name value. Input as you wish. I'm giving here. Now we can use that variable name. Instead of here, instead of hard coding, I can mention here And also I can mention here. So this is the multiple. When we declare it, we can use it in any place. So it will enter the value. What is the value? It will display in the output. First name is that particular value. And remember, you should always, whatever the value we are entering, that needs to be displayed in the application. So it entered the value. It means it was enabled. After that, it entered the value. First name is Vinoth. Done. Then clear the first name. Directly I can give it. In real time, very rarely an application will have with default text box with some values will be filled. In sense, when you launch some application, some values will be already filled. Very rarely. In that case, first you have to clear it and then enter the value. Directly when you enter the value, sometimes what will happen is it will go and enter in the existing, it will concord in it. That type of things will happen because of improper development. So in that, that's a real time scenario. In that time, you can clear and then enter the value. So to clear it, the value, so dot clear. So we are cleared the value. This is also done. Then close the browser. Yeah. Driver dot close. Sometimes I will miss this sysout message or comment here during demo time or teaching time. But again, when you do it for assignments, think always you're in the automation project itself, then only you will do a proper way of coding. So it was very quick. What I will do, I will again thread dot sleep. Not advisable to use it. You should not use it. I don't want to see this in any of the code. Add throws declaration. So many exceptions we have it. Here it's an interrupted exception. Let me. This needs to be given after entering the value. No. Okay. If you want, after 3 seconds, let's close it. $7.50. So it launched, entered the value. After 3 seconds, it's cleared the value and the application is closed. Done. This program is also done. Everyone, Zoom guys, Zoom team, everyone understood how to handle the text box, and also YouTube team, you can also comment so that I'll move on to the next topic. Okay. So it's in sense in future, if any website, if you see it, you should be in a position to handle box. So first important one, and it's mostly text box is the widely used functionality. Whenever you code it, based on my experience, I'm saying usually we will go with first name is displayed or not, and then enter the value. This is how we will, this one line we will code it. But for assignment, we have this program to do it. Make sure you have to do is displayed enabled everything. Let's see that as 1 minute here. Okay, assignments. You can directly see that assignments in the better will go as per the modules. Module you always refer it as a student view. Let me open the student view. Try to explore this particular tool. It's a lifetime access. Some concept we may not use it right now. You may not use it in one project. Maybe after some months you may use it. So remember, every code it is in the canvas portal. So in the module Java part 1 we are done. Java part 2 we'll see later. So I have to add that one more assignment, that is for locators. I didn't add. Now handling browser assignment. So you can see handling browser and handling browser navigation. We are done. Upload both the files separately. Remember, .java file alone you have to submit it. Strictly follow the coding standard. And then we are done with the first program. You will have an assignment like Selenium basic. Third one, it is 80 marks. So this, how much we complete, you have to submit one by one. I think 8 programs will cover under the basics. You have to refer the slides for the test case flow, refer the uploaded code for coding standard, upload the program on daily. Of course, if you work on daily basis, don't wait till you complete everything. You can submit one by one. Accordingly, I will get it. So the coding and all, if you click on this, it will display the coding. While starting, maybe if you get confident, what I will say, you open this rather than watching the lengthier video that's going to be boring again for 2 hours. So open this and you see here, put it into another tab and start coding by taking this as a reference. Sometimes some mistakes may be there, but when you do it, you can correct that. So I have added for execution purpose. When you submit it, I don't want to see it. That's a one thing. And one more thing why I opened this is, now if you go to task manager, can you all able to see Chrome driver 32-bit here? 32 bits. Yes. Everyone able to see it, right? So these are all the driver object. Whenever we ran this code, driver object is created. Only when we executed driver.close, this will be closed. But I think for these many times, I didn't use driver.close. So it started each object instance. So how to close this again? Right click in task. While doing unit testing, you will be executing n number of times, 20, 25 times and all you will execute. So this memory will be keep on incrementing. At one point of time, your system or laptop will not up to the performance. So what you can do is, I will show you one code. Just a overview only. If you're not understanding, no problem, you can leave it. So this code, that is kill the browser process, it's a visual basic code. In the module 2, under the, this is the slides in PDF format. Just download this and put it into your desktop. This one, like this it will be. If you double click, now if you go and see, all it is closed. So always keep it in your local. So whenever you do it, double click. Maybe after 10 times executed, automatically it will close. What exactly inside that, I will just give a glance. Don't, if you're not understanding, you can skip it, no problem. Just an overview. So Visual Basics VB script. What exactly we are doing in the script is trying to consolidate. Maybe in future we will use Chrome driver, Firefox, MSH. So we are trying to connect to the task manager. So task manager, these will be taking care of that. After connecting to the task manager, a DB query, select star from Win32 process. So these are all the process where services. So these process, it will Win32 process. It will try to retrieve all 32 process where the name is Chrome driver.exe gecko. So it will try to consolidate whatever the browser you have used. It will consolidate and then it will have account in the set cool process. Then I am using a for loop. So what I am doing, I am trying to close one by one, end task, end task, end task. When you do it manually, you will do like that. With the code means you will do that particular process name dot terminate. So it will be keep on incrementing. Once we are closed with all these process, then it will come out of the for loop. So this is a code for kill the browser process. If you're not getting it, leave it, but just copy. Whenever you will download, it will be in download, put it into a desktop. Whenever you do it, just double click it. And remember, most of the viruses and all we can easily send through VB script. Whenever you see a visual like this, don't double click. Always first go and click on edit. If you click on edit in Notepad, it will open. You can see what is the code. So I have to be a bit careful with VB script. Just use this particular program, download from the Canvas portal so that your developing will go very smoothly. So we are done with the program. Let's move on to the next program. Again, it is very, very easy. For assignment, no, don't go with implicit explicit as of now. Let's wait. We will implement implicit wait, explicit wait and all in the framework level. As of now, these simple examples, we don't want to use it. Let's go sequentially, Abhi. We have a wait statement that's implicit, explicit, fluent wait and all. As of now, just go like step by step. Since Abhi is already an automation tester, you can use it, but for others, don't get scared. This is we will learn it. So now next one, handling button. What do you mean by button? This is button. When you click on this, since the value is not filled, it is throwing the error. It is a button. Again, this is a button. This is a button. This is a button. So how to handle this button is the next question. Mostly this is displayed. It is very widely used for buttons. There are some places like downloading process started, some process started. So after it completes 100% only, that particular button will be enabled. It will take some time to get enabled. So mostly for text box, we will be widely using is displayed. For button, we will use is enabled. You can use both the things, but again, very highly used one. If is enabled, go and click on it. So we know what is displayed, we know what is enabled. Here itself, you can see this button is enabled, this button is disabled. And click on it. We also have a submit method. That is also another method to click on it. We will see it just for knowledge purpose. In this example, what we are going to see is after launching this website, we have to validate the submit button is displayed or not, it is enabled or not, then click on it and close the browser. Okay. Handling button. And also while giving package, give it in lowercase, proper naming convention, follow it in the starting itself. So button. Let me close it. So after launching, we have to validate the submit button. So for let's try to inspect and what it is. Right click, inspect. And you can see it's an input tag, but sometimes it will be, this is also a button. If you inspect multiple window, you will have a button tag. It's again, this one is automated code. Automatically drag and drop means it will consider this one. This particular registered demo code is another add-on. So multiple automation codes are implemented for web development. That is what I was saying. We can't say how this code will be generated, ID, name, and all. Purely, it's like a trial and error method. We have to properly choose the locator. As of now, let's focus on submit method, submit button. Here you can see ID, name, class, value, so many things. We are going with ID. Always first preference is for ID. Okay. Okay. No worry. I used to cross check all the charts. Web element, it's a submit button equal to driver dot find element by dot id, this one, semicolon, and import that package, import web element org open QA Selenium. Yes, this is done. We declared it. Now same thing, we will check whether it is displayed or not. So what we will do, if submit button is displayed, I'm just trying to implement every place. Submit button is displayed. In case if it is not there, you have to tell it is not displayed. Same way, enabled or not. For button, enabled is very powerful mechanism. Mostly buttons will be displayed in enabled and disabled. Is enabled. If it is enabled, it will tell is enabled. Else, since we have already seen it, I will be fast. When something comes new concept, I will go very slowly. Nothing big here. Enable, disabled, displayed, enabled. Then click on it. Click on the button. Dot. Click. Submit button is clicked. After that, driver dot close. As of now, I will comment it. When you give your code to someone that is at in condition, for 1 minute. Okay, let's try to execute and see. Okay, it's cross-checked. Sorry for a wrong call. I thought it's an emergency. Okay, see, it clicked it. That's why we got this one. It means it performed the action. It is displayed or not. Yes, it is displayed, enabled, and it clicked. Now you see the task manager. Where is that? Chrome, have it. Okay, so maybe somewhere. So we are done with this program, not fully. Still, we have one more method. That is, click is done, and going forward. Why 1 minute? Why do we need close driver in every class? That's a part of test case. When you start a test case, you have to close it. or else it's not. When you do it manually, you open a browser at the end. That's how we will write the manual test case. End should be there. Okay, now in all the program, if it is a button, you use dot click. This is just for knowledge purpose. In some online quizzes and all, I have seen this question. We can also use submit, dot submit, to click the button. That is, instead of this, you can also use dot submit. This also will work, but this is only for knowledge purpose. When this code will work, there is one small concept behind that. When you inspect submit button, can you all able to see type equal to submit? So while designing, if the attribute is type and its value is submit means, then dot submit will work. So this is the criteria to use dot submit method. But knowledge purpose only. What is the big difference between this button and rest of the button is, if you consider this is also a button, web table button, it will take you to the web page. This will just navigate, but this functionality of this one is, it is going to submit all these value to the database. So this is quite important functionality, form functionality will say. So if you're not getting it, no problem, easy understanding. Just remember one thing, instead of dot click, even submit also will work. Let me execute. Always while doing the unit testing, don't use driver.close. Once you are done, you can, at the end of the program, you can use it. So see, it is working. Dot submit also will work. Done with this program also. Task manager. See, Chrome driver 32-bit. It will create. So it's always a good practice to close it. When you double click, automatically it will go. Or else you have to manually end task. No need to do that. So this program done, the next program. So till now we understood how to handle the text box, how to handle the button. Now comes a radio button and then checkbox. Remember one thing, still we have 20 minutes, we can do it. If you understood radio button, checkbox going to be easier for you. If you miss this, checkbox will be most confusing one, because I'm going to ask you some questions, some online interview questions. So now itself I'm saying, understand first radio button, then we'll move on to the text box. So this one is right click, new class, handling video button, finish. What is the requirement? Let's see the requirement. We are going to select male or female. The reason why I have chosen the female is, mostly while doing a testing, while learning something, don't try with first value like this. Always try with last value and middle value. That's why I'm trying with female. So we have to select the female and implement some methods, like whether this radio button is enabled or not, whether it is displayed or not. We have already seen these two things. Now introducing a new guy, mostly we will be using is selected as an entry criteria, whether it is selected or not. If you see it, I am talking about, it is again vary from developer to developer. mostly the default value, it will not be selected. Mostly when you launch a website with radio button, it will be without selecting only, mostly. In even if you see it in MCQ exams and all, one value if you want to select, they will use radio button. So it will be in default value, it will be not selected. Very rarely only it will be selected. For example, which example, if you go to flight booking, one way, two way, only two option, by default one way will be selected, so that's place by default it is selected. But in real time applications, while selecting the value, by default it will not be selected. Why? Because in radio button you can select a value, but you can't unselect a value. I don't want to unselect mail. I just want to remove mail which I selected mail. It's not possible. But if you see it in checkbox, you can select, you can unselect it. So that's possible in checkbox, but it's not possible in radio button. That's why they will make sure initially it is not selected. So if you want to remove this, the only way you have to refresh it. But remember, in real time scenario, when you refresh, it will clear all the values. That's why while developers, when they develop this particular functionality, they will develop without selecting. But odd man cases also there, like flight booking, one-way booking, two-way booking. In that cases, by default, if you check it in all the website, it will be two-way booking, it will be selected. You may check why we will not. You can see that. So now let's go to the slide. Here, what it means. Just answer it. Yes means, I already said, Boolean true or false. You have to answer me for this particular condition. Okay, let's go with mail also. Whether this mail radio button is selected or not. You will get true or false. Tell me. You can message me. You will get true or false. You must message. You have to interact for this next program, then only you will get it. False. Only one false. What about others? Everyone understood. It means the value is not selected. So false means literally what in if else means it is else condition. Just remember. So it will go to the else condition. With this understanding, let's try to code it. Default value. 1 minute. Okay. Team also replied me. And when you code it properly, because we have one assignment end-to-end scenario, you can copy paste the same code. So I will never make you to code same scenario multiple times. All scenarios, whatever you are automating, every assignment, it's just incrementing something. And finally, one end-to-end scenario, you can copy paste every program in single program. Then you can create end-to-end Selenium test case that we will convert to data-driven framework, then to the TestNG, then to the page object model. Like this, same code only we are going to do it. So first time itself, when you do it properly, give this comments and variable naming conventions. This is certain, give it properly. This is handling, actually created. Okay. So what is first? Female radio button. Female radio button. Let's inspect it. Right click. Here you can select and right click, inspect. So this is male, this one is male, and this one is female. And here also you can see the type remains the same. Name is also same. This is one such example. Car with same color. So, but if you see ID is different. This is the one main reason why I want everyone give first priority to ID. ID will work, high probability it will work. So for female, it is VFD-8-2. WebDriver, sorry, web element, it is female radio button. Naming convention, very, very important. Or you can put, in some of developers will put BTN. Driver dot find element by dot ID semicolon. Load the web element. Yes. Now same story. I'll quickly type displayed or not. If female radio button is displayed, then I will tell female radio button displayed. If it is not there, it's not displayed. Same way, verify. Instead of is displayed, it is enabled. We have already seen multiple times, so directly copy pasting. Now comes the new method, selected or not. Let's see. If female radio button is selected, if it is selected, then I will tell if it is selected, female radio button is selected. Default condition. Else is not selected. So when we execute this program, it will be female radio button displayed, female radio button enabled, and the female radio button is not selected. By default, the value is not selected in this particular application. So it will be false. False means else statement will be executed. So execution completed. You can see it is displayed, enabled, not selected. Now to select, what is the method we will use it? To select dot click. If you use dot click, it will select. So where we have to place this? In if or else. Tell me, team. If or else. As per this particular application. As expected, one person said the wrong answer. Think and tell. I have to place this code inside if or else so that it will select. Think and tell. You can correct your mistake. I want to place this code inside if or inside else so that it will select. Which one is valid scenario? This one or this one, so that it will select. Yes, it is else, because the default, every time, remember, we talks about default value. So it is in the else. Now it will select. Of course, driver off, close, and comment. As per the test case, verify selected, select, and once again you have to verify. You can verify one more time without that after selecting. If you verify now, the default value will be selected. You will get the female radio button is selected. Initially, it will be not selected. Then you will selecting and verifying again. Verify again, selected or not means now by default it is selected, it will go to the if condition. So always remember whenever we talk about the application flow, you have to visualize, okay, how this code will work. That is like bit by bit you have to do it. See, it's selected and then initially it is not selected. So it came to else, then it clicked. After that, when we checked the status, it is saying it is selected. So that's about the radio button. Everyone clear about radio button? And one more point I forgot to tell. Praveen asked, another advantage of declaring like this is if you declare this everywhere like this, just imagine. By chance, if this object property changes means in how many places we have to update it means you have to update in all the places. A very big rework, right? But if we declare it in one place means you know in tomorrow if this changes to 3, you don't need to touch this code, this particular object, you can come and change here so that our code can be modified just with one line of modification. The entire program will work. So that is a reason, one more advantage, we always initialize it, declare it. This one I missed it. So 10 more minutes, we have it. Okay, we'll finish it off. Both of them belongs to same family. It will take additional 10 minutes, but it's worth. Now checkbox. Again, same story. Is displayed, is enabled, is selected or not. And in order to select a radio button, sorry, checkbox, this is a checkbox, you have to use click method. For radio button, we can select, but we can't unselect it. But for checkbox, we can check and also uncheck. Remember this. Again, same story is selected for TestNG. Here it will be false because the value is not selected. So if you want to select something, you have to place the code in the else condition. This is what the same radio button story will applicable to checkbox also. But here we have one more functionality, unselect the checkbox. So handling checkbox, void main. Okay, let's try to code it for TestNG. The requirement is TestNG displayed, enabled, selected or not. Then we are selecting the checkbox. Then verifying the status, unselecting. So both selecting and unselecting we are going to see. Again, web element. I am focusing only for TestNG object. So web element TestNG equal to driver dot find element. Let's see. Right click, inspect. You can see the ID. Always see the nearby family members also. And you can understand VFB for this one. Input, checkbox common, name also common, but ID is different. You have to reduce the, see, ID is different. That's why I always, so this is the ID. So first day only I will spend more time on how selecting this value. After that I will directly copy paste and find element y dot id that value, close it. Now same thing, this one. displayed or not. So if TestNG dot is displayed, or we need to do like this for assignment, of course. TestNG is displayed. There's a boring type to code it again and again, but get used to it. It's not displayed. Same thing, enabled or not. Control space will give the suggestion is enabled. We have seen this multiple times. That's why I'm quick on it. Is enabled. Okay. Then selected or not. This is what important. Now, if open the chart, you have to reply me. Is selected, it will tell we have to say that TestNG is selected, else TestNG is not selected. This is also we know it. To select it, to check, I will say to check and uncheck. That's a keyword we will use it. To check the TestNG, what we will see, do dot click method we will use it. Reply me in order to check this particular TestNG, that this is a default condition. You will place it in if or else. Now reply me if or else. Yes, very quick answer. Everyone on the track. It is else condition. I will give like just to differentiate, TestNG is checked. We will use selected only, but to differentiate in the output. Let's execute. And just visualize, remember this flow, then only you can answer the next question. So it is launching and see, it is selected. Check for displayed, enable, is it selected or not? If not, then it will select. So displayed, enable, initially it is not selected. So it came for else condition and TestNG is checked. So as per the flow, this is exactly same as radio button. No big difference. Now comes the question. Again, you're trying to verify whether it is selected or not. If it is selected, you have to uncheck it. If it is selected, you have to uncheck it. The default condition now is selected. Let me verify it. Selected or not. To uncheck also, we have to use the same code. No, actually in framework, I have some other code on off. I will show that in framework level. But as of now, to select or unselect, that is select or unselect, both means it is dot click method. Now to unselect, based on the flow we are executing, where should I place this dot click code? If or else. If you set this answer, that's it, done for the day. Two of them answered. 57. To unselect, where will you place this code? Yes, 3 correct. What about others? As per the visualization, remember, no one wrong answer. I'm showing the visualization, very important. As per the flow, now the value is selected. Now the value is selected. You have to uncheck it. So with value is selected, if you execute this particular is selected method, tell me, the person who replied me wrong answer, whether it will go to if or else. The value is already selected. It will go to if or else. Visualize. Again, wrong answer. Why? What is the meaning of is selected? Is selected means what? If it is selected, it will give true. If it is not selected, it will give false. Simple, straightforward. You have everyone already replied answer for it. So initial condition, it was not selected. So it will come to the else. Just to select it, we will place it in the else part. Now, question is, we are executing continuously. Now, as per our program execution, this TestNG is already selected. Now, if you go and check is selected or not, means yes, it is selected. It will go to the if, not to the else. Still, you're not getting it. Rewatch this recording again. So, default condition here, default is, what is the default? TestNG is selected. Now I'm going to uncheck it. If it is selected means, yes, it is selected. It is true. It will come here only. So to uncheck the code, I have to place dot click here. See, both to check and uncheck, it is dot click only. Then how can I use it? Means based on the default value, you have to select it. But in the framework level, we have a different way of coding that if I show now, it will be very confusing, but I will show when time comes. As of now, understand this alone. More than enough. I think in the chat, the YouTube, everyone answered correctly. I appreciate you all. Just see the execution. It will be very quick. I have to put thread dot sleep or else we can't. Thread dot. Last program, last execution. Then we'll do a short recap. After that, we'll go for query session. Arun, Anil, Prabhu, Avita, Ro. Good. You all answered correctly. See, it worked. Check. After 3 seconds, it unchecked. One more time, I'm executing. Selected after 3 seconds, it is unselected. I didn't click. See, it is not selected, so it checked. After that, when they check the status, yes, it is selected, so it is unchecked. That's it. Straightforward. Okay, let's do a recap. Everyone, I'm sure this you all will understood properly all these programs. Let's go sequentially. Text box, okay. And in browser, navigation, text box, then button, then radio button, checkbox. So for browser, we have so many methods like get to launch, to validate the title, get title. Here, always validation means we have to use if else with the help of equals method. We have to validate it. Both the actual and the expected value are same. If it is same, properly mention what is the value. If it is failed, both we have to display actual and the expected value. And then to validate current, we will use get current URL. We can also get the page source using the get page source method. But in that, I'm using length method to find the total number of character. That's about handling browser. And then browser navigation. What it is, so all the commands in the top of the browser, it's all window-based application functionality. We can navigate dot back, we can go navigate dot forward. In the existing URL, you can navigate to some other URL using navigate dot to, and also we can refresh it. Browser navigation command. and then handling the text box. Text box means here the first concept, everywhere whenever you code it, don't mention this alone, always declare to the web element class. So you're declaring the first name, whether it is displayed or not, we are checking whether it is enabled or not. If it is enabled, you are entering the value with the help of SendKeys method. Whenever you use any value to select or check or whatever it is, you have to display that, especially entering the value means you have to display that in the output. Very important point. And then you can also clear it. For button, same story, is displayed, is enabled, and dot click, we can use it. Everywhere you can go with the dot click. In addition to that, dot submit also will work for handling the button. Then radio button. Radio button means we can select, we cannot unselect. Only one value can be selected. How to remember MCQ? In all examination, only one value selected means then they will design with radio button. Multiple answer means they will design with the checkbox. Even in the quiz, I will follow this concept. So female radio button, is it displayed or not? It is enabled or not? And this comes new one, is selected or not? If it is selected, you will get yes, true. If it is not selected, you will go to the else condition, false. So to check, always radio button, dot click, you mention it in the else case. But for checkbox, again, sometimes it will come with selected value, sometimes it will come without selected value. Based on that, to select or unselect, we can use dot click method. Purely based on the application, you have to put this dot click in the respective if or else place. Again, framework level, every developer will follow their own way. I will show that particular code maybe after when we come for page object model. We can also handle that in a different way. I'll tell that later. So that's for today. Before we discuss with Zoom team, so everyone understood the concept. If you have a query, you can pack the question. Let me wind up the YouTube team. Is everyone clear in YouTube? So that I can stop live streaming. And thank you again for joining today class. Tomorrow we will be seeing a lot of programs, especially this week, next week and all. It is very, very important one. We will first see with the basics, then move on to advanced, a lot of mouse and keyboard events. Everything we will use it in all the web pages in the automation project. So you must know how to do all this stuff. So waiting for the reply. YouTube. Yes, okay. Thank you team. If you have any queries, you can note it down. When you come for the next class, you can ask it in the comments. So I'm stop sharing my screen. Now let me stop live streaming.